One of the main goals of Blinken's visit to China is to maintain open lines of communication with Beijing and avoid miscalculation and conflict. This is especially important given the tense state of US-China relations over issues such as Taiwan, the South China Sea and trade. Blinken spoke with Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang on the phone before his trip and discussed a range of bilateral and global issues. He also made clear that the US would continue to raise areas of concern as well as areas of potential cooperation with China. However, Qin told Blinken that the US should show respect for China's core interests and stop interfering in its internal affairs. He also urged the US to meet China halfway and effectively manage differences. Blinken is expected to meet with Qin and other senior Chinese officials in Beijing and discuss topics such as climate change, North Korea, Iran, Afghanistan and human rights. He will also seek to convey a realistic and confident approach to managing competition with China. Blinken's visit is seen as a long-awaited rescheduling of a trip that was cancelled in February after the US military shot down a Chinese spy balloon that had drifted across the country. The incident sparked a diplomatic row and further strained ties between the two superpowers. Blinken's visit is also the first by a US Secretary of State to China in 5 years and the first by a cabinet-level official in 4 years. It follows a series of meetings between senior US and Chinese officials since last month and President Biden's prediction of a near-term thaw in relations with Beijing. The implications and challenges of Blinken's visit for the future of US-China relations, such as the prospects of stabilizing the relationship. Blinken's visit to China is a rare opportunity for direct dialogue between the top diplomats of the world's two largest economies. It comes after months of escalating tensions and mistrust over a range of issues, such as Taiwan, the South China Sea, human rights, trade and technology. Blinken has said he wants to maintain open lines of communication with China to avoid miscalculation and conflict. He has also said he will raise areas of concern as well as areas of potential cooperation with his Chinese counterparts. But China has made clear that it expects the US to show respect and stop interfering in its internal affairs. It has also accused the US of undermining its sovereignty, security, and development interests in the name of competition. The two sides have very different views on the nature and future of their relationship. The US sees China as a strategic competitor and a systemic rival that challenges its values and interests. China sees the US as a hegemonic power that seeks to contain its rise and impose its will on others. The prospects of stabilizing the relationship are therefore slim, unless both sides can find some common ground and manage their differences effectively. This will require mutual respect, dialogue, compromise and cooperation on issues of mutual interest, such as climate change, pandemic response, nuclear non-proliferation and regional stability. However, such cooperation will not be easy, given the deep distrust and hostility that pervade the relationship. Both sides will also face domestic pressures and constraints that limit their room for maneuver. The US will have to balance its alliance commitments and its support for democracy and human rights with its engagement with China. China will have to balance its national pride and ambition with its need for stability and development. Blinken's visit to China is therefore a high-stakes trip that could either ease or worsen the tensions between the two countries. It could also set the tone and direction for their relationship in the coming years. The outcome will depend on how both sides approach the talks, what issues they prioritize, what signals they send and what actions they take.